The top brass of the Royal Bahamas Police Force says web shop owners and their employees were well within their rights to march to Parliament yesterday. Good night, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Candino Knowles. Well, members of the Save Our Bahamas Vote No campaign took grave offense to yesterday's march and cried shame on Police Commissioner Ellison Greenslade for allowing those web shop bosses to flaunt their so-called illegal practice in front of Parliament.
Well, our Charisma Robinson joins us with more on the police force's position on the matter. Charisma, what are police saying tonight?
Yes, Keishla Candino, much criticism has sparked since yesterday's march to Parliament. Those pastors who strongly oppose the regularization and taxation of gaming in this country are expressing disappointment that web shop bosses who are still technically operating illegally were granted a license for the march in the first place. Assistant Commissioner of Police Hewlin Hanna is dismissing that position. He says the force has not been given any directive not to interfere with web shop bosses during this referendum process.
They were not allowed to go onto Bay Street to gamble. Persons were allowed to go onto Bay Street to process and to have a demonstration. That is the context in which this commissioner allowed the activity to take place.
And furthermore, the senior police officer says,
based on the information we've gotten from our senior commanders that were in charge of the operation downtown yesterday, that at no material time did the police lose control of what was happening on Bay Street. But we have duly noted what was said. I want to say that this police force, and particularly this commissioner, respects fully the right of individuals to express support or dissension in anything that is being discussed in the public forum.
ACP Hanna also dismissed claims that the police force does not have the resources to shut down the web shops if Bahamians vote no. State Minister for National Security Keith Bell has said that the government would have a mammoth task in shutting down those lucrative illegal enterprises. He has said that with resources already stretched, the police force would be forced to redirect existing resources and increase manpower, a costly diversion from violent crime cases.
As a senior police officer, I will not speak after a politician, especially a senior politician who is essentially my boss. But what I want to say again to the Bahamian public is this. This Royal Bahamas Police Force is highly energized, strategized, so that we can do the people's business. No one in this country, absolutely no one in this country, need to feel as if somehow or the other we're going to lose our grip if push come to shove, as they say.
Meantime, ACP Hanna says the Royal Bahamas Police Force will be out in full numbers on referendum day, manning the polls to ensure that law and order is being carried out.
Liquor license establishments will be closed. Persons will not be allowed to have any unfair advantage or advantages going in or coming out from the polls. There will be no coercion. And if persons have their private interests, they would pursue their private interests outside of the area where the law permits them not to be.
Now, ACP Hanna could not say whether web shops across the country will be allowed to operate on referendum day. He says so far this referendum process has gone smoothly, and he expects the same even after Monday's poll.